Yes, BioFresh. Yes, I can see it. I can see it. It's you got to buy it. $30,000 on BioFresh. Right. Yes. I know it's a robot cleaner. I just buy it. 30,000. Just buy it. Oh, sorry. Hi guys. How are you? Everything okay? God, I haven't seen you guys in 2 hours. Mark and I just did our follow-up show for the kids event, the kids thing, and we got all your information. It was fantastic. Welcome to show number 30. I never said that before. I never counted the shows, and I just did all the stats today. I had some time, and I was able to. I froze up. Hang on a second. I need to catch up with myself. There we go. I did all the stats for the show. Almost 60 hours. We've been doing it for a month. This is show number 30. Some of our shows are up to like 1,500 views. Just crazy. Thank you guys again very much for hanging out with us and letting us come into your home, your prepper area, your basement, your attic, wherever you're watching us, your Etch a Sketch, I don't care, whatever you're watching us. And just thank you very much for inviting us in. We're trying to do our best to keep you guys happy and connected, the community connected. And in doing so, I've got a really cool cat who I met last year in a really, it's interesting when you meet somebody in an interesting situation. And you need me to open it up? Oh, wait, my daughter needs me to open up. This is live, so my daughter needs me to open up. Am I have to do this on TV? I have to do this live?
Embarrass yourself?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Drama queen.
I did it. All right, get out of here. Shut the door. Anyway, so when you meet somebody in a foreign land, I'm stuck again. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but you meet someone in a foreign land and you have these amazing experiences, it kind of sticks in your head, right? Like, I mean, you can go play at a big game with somebody all day, like this. Hey, I'll see you later. But when you are thousands of miles from home and in a foreign country and and there's no FPS and it's crazy time, right? You either make or break your friendship. And so this guy's been a cool cat since I met him. Anyway, he's an award-winning author. He's run many marathons. I can see him laughing in the green room. No, but he is an OG player and he is a professional tournament player. And but probably a lot of you guys probably don't know him. I don't know. I mean, I have a huge, following this, both speedball and mostly rec ball, but a lot of speedball too. So he's going to fit more into the speedball category. And hopefully after tonight, you're going to go, oh, that's a cool cat. And I'm going to go check out his field or his shop, or maybe check him out on Facebook. How was that?
That was all right.
Yeah, fuck you.
That's
all right. Goodbye. Dude, my daughter, she had a bottle of sauerkraut. What the hell? I was like, she's very demanding, but we got it. Hey, tell everybody who you are.
My name is Ryan Podesta. I have been in paintball for 25 years. I own a store. I've had a store since I was 24 years old, so I'm going on 17 years of owning a store. I own a field up in Northern California called Playland. I play for the Masters Division on Team USA. I've played for Bob Long, Bushwhackers, played for Critical professionally, played for Explicit professionally. I was a captain of Mama's Boys, like one of the most most winning non-pro teams in paintball history. I've worked for the U.S. military for paintball liaisons for the Army of One. And just a full-time adventurer. Paintball is my life. Lucky enough.
Dude, wait, hang on a second. So if you're going to say, hang on a second, let me just do this. There we go. Let me just pop that in there. Let me put my new background in. Hang on a second. There we go. How's that?
There you go.
There you go. All right. So I almost have a crown. So you just mentioned something of somebody that I know, John Paul. You played on his team?
Yeah. John Paul and I are good friends. and I played for Critical for 2 years, I think, in 2004 and 2005 before I went professional with Bushwhackers.
Okay. John and I go back a long ways. Even before computers, I'm sorry, even before paintball, I used to buy computers from him.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything about paintball at that time. That was in the 90s something. I forgot what it was, late 90s. And he had a computer store, and Critical, it was, I think, Critical Computers. I'm not sure what it was. It's the same place. And so I used to go there. This was before like Dell came out. So, I mean, or Dell was like not as popular. So you could still buy go to like a mom pa kind of place and they would build it for you.
Right.
And I mean, so he would sell them to me for I think it was like $2,000. I'd sell them for $4,000, the whole package. Everybody was happy. So I was buying from him. And then when I drank the Kool-Aid, I was like 2008, and I go, hey, where's paintball places in my area? And I'm looking, I go, Northridge. Oh, okay. I'll go. Wait a minute. I got there and I go, wait, this is where I buy computers. And so I walk in there and he's there, and I'm like, I'm looking at all this. And I go, what happens to the computer store? He goes, oh, I still do that. I go, what is all this? He goes, you don't know what? And I said, no. And that was my first taste of a lot of people not really talking about what they did. You know, saying Gary Baum doesn't talk what he does. But John Paul was kind of like, he wasn't mixing computers with paintball. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. And I go, dude, what? And he goes, yeah. Oh no, I've been professional for a long time. I have my own team and blah, blah, blah. And I said, dude, that's crazy. So then we started bonding. I don't know why I'm getting stuck so much, but we started bonding on that. And then I started buying stuff from him. I started promoting his store. And then he bought the California Paintball Park. Yeah. Yeah, up there. So here's the cool thing about John Paul. He's been so connected with paintball, but he's been connected with paintball and the outside of paintball, like the movie industry, the television, that kind of stuff. Yep. And so one day he called me, I don't know, 2016, he called me and he goes, hey, we're doing a paintball segment for the show called Animal Kingdom. And, I'm getting just to select people together to play paintball. Now, you know what I look like when I play, and I don't look like a speedballer. Right. So he gets us all together. We go to San Pedro. It's like 5:00 in the morning, and we all check in, or they all check in. And then I arrive just a little bit late. And as I'm walking there, all the speedballers are like, oh, here comes Reaper. And I got my 2 pistols. And the wardrobe people are like, oh, are you on the wrong set? Like, maybe you should be like at a different, I go, no, I play paintball too. And they go, oh, well, we've never seen paintball like that. And so then they started filming me a lot, which was great. The other paintballers weren't happy about that, but actually he did that. He did a 7-Eleven commercial or something in 7-Eleven. So he's always been connected with our sport and bringing the outside media into our sport. Yeah. So,
well, he's just a professional dude. Like, shout out to JP for being, always respectable and smart. Like, you're like, oh, well, how does this work? And he's like, oh, it goes like this, and and you're like, right. Fuck, right. Yeah. I'll trust you because you're way smarter than I am. So. He's a great
business guy. He's just a great leader. He's just everything. He's just an all around great guy. And he's always been really cool to me. So if someone's been cool to me, he's good in my book. So I'm happy. And speaking of Italians, what's with the last name?
I'm half Italian. My grandpa came over when he was like a little kid. I'm also half Irish. My grandpa came off the boat and came to live here when he was like 22, 23. And as soon as he came off the boat, they asked him a question. They were like, if the United States went to war with Ireland, who would you fight for? And his buddy who came with him says, well, I'd fight for Ireland. And he goes, okay, you go over here. And then my grandpa gets up and he's watched his buddy go back and he gets right back on the boat. And they go, if United States went to fight against Ireland in a war, who'd you fight for? He goes, oh, United States. He goes, okay, you go over here. He goes on the other boat and goes straight off to Korea. So
straight off to Korea?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's amazing. So that was like 1950 something.
Yeah. So that was back in 49 or 50 something.
Yeah. Well, the
And
war was 50 to 53, I think, something like that. Yeah. Dude, that's a great story,
yeah,
right?
so he made it through that. He was a medic for 3 years, and then was honorably discharged, and then came back and started a family. And we have, I mean, if you know Irish people, like we got cousins everywhere. So
Wow. That is cool. And you know what? Actually, in New York, I don't know if obviously that's where he got off the boat was in New York, or
yeah,
because that's on that side, right? And then, but actually in New York, back in those days, even back in like early times, the Jews, the Irish, the Italians, they were all kind of like, they all had that kind of familyness, and they would
right,
all start marrying each other, right? So like, even if you watch Goodfellas, Henry Hill couldn't become a full mafia guy because he was half Irish and half Italian, right?
right.
And so, but there was a lot of that mixing kind of, so you're basically connected to that history kind of thing of, you know.
Yeah, it's a great mix. I mean, my Italian side is pretty Italian, but my Irish side is really Irish. And
Really?
so much so, my Italian dad thinks he's Irish now. So if you ask him, you know, his Podesta's pub is the best Irish pub in town, even though it's in his basement. But
Oh, that's funny. That's cool. Did you inherit anything from the, let me see, anything from both sides? I mean, one side we have a little bit of the adult beverage, and then on the other side is, I'm not going to say racketeering, but I'm just joking. That's a joke.
I got the noodles from the Italian side for sure. And then
All right.
I got a hollow leg from the Irish side. I mean, you've
All
been
right.
up with me at night. You know, I think you
Yes,
went to
I have.
me, but
Speaking of, well, I wasn't going to bring it up so soon, but you're right. Yeah,
it's it. Yeah.
that's in Mexico. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but you and it became good friends. And I'm not really a drinker at all. I mean, I drink some, but like not like I watch you guys. I was very impressed by your consumption of the adult beverage. It was nice.
It's being dense. I just have dense bones.
Oh, dense bones. I think I got it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I got it. All right. So, so the grandfather and the grandmother, or I mean, how'd they meet? In Europe? I mean, in the East Coast or West Coast?
They met in San Francisco, actually. So my grandpa, after he got out of the war, had a cousin that lived in San Francisco, and she was from Ireland. And they're both from the Southwest, which is Tralee, and so that would be like the Black Irish. So you have like usually lighter colored eyes, black hair, stuff like that. And so he moved out to San Francisco. He met my grandmother, I think, within a couple weeks, and then they dated traditionally, you know, for a couple months, maybe a year, got engaged. They moved out of San Francisco to San Rafael, which is about 20 minutes north of San Francisco, in Marin. Marin now is like the second richest county in the nation or something crazy like that. But that's where
Wow. Oh, because of the Silicon Valley.
It's not the Silicon Valley. So the Silicon Valley is more to the south.
Okay.
But that's where Robin Williams was when he passed away.
Okay.
That's where Steven Spielberg lives. Is where George Lucas lives. Is where Sean Penn lives.
Interesting.
So a lot of celebrities. There's like the Maserati dealerships and the Ferrari dealership, and so that's like in between us and San Francisco.
Got it, dude. So, that's cool. Okay, so they settled up there, and then how did you end up in Petaluma?
So yeah, my mom's the oldest of four. I got three uncles, and my mom's the oldest. My dad is a middle child. I have another uncle and an aunt on that side, and actually they lived across the street from each other.
Wow.
Yeah. My Italian grandfather grew up in San Francisco pretty much most of his life. They lived in the Mission District, which was pretty rough through the 60s and 70s. That's also like right next to where the Hells Angels started in the 60s. And the neighborhood was getting really rough. My grandfather was a contractor. And so he would be working on jobs. People were ripping off tools and burning stuff down. And he came home. He's like, yeah, it's getting really rough. I don't know. We should move. And then a couple of weeks later, a guy was stabbed to death on their front step. Ooh. So it's like, all right, we're out of here. So they moved 20 minutes north to San Rafael and literally lived across the street from my mom and my grandparents. And that's how they met.
That's
and
cool.
So they were high school sweethearts. They met, I think my dad was 17 and my mom was 15 at the time. And they started dating pretty much, I think, within the first year. And they've been together ever since. And that was years ago.
Dude,
So
nice, huh? People used to stay together back then.
yeah, divorce wasn't really a thing.
Divorce, they couldn't even spell it.
Right.
Jesus Christ, exactly. Petaluma. The only thing I remember, I was born in Santa Monica, and I was raised in Los Angeles and whatever. So I'm and for people that don't know, there's three pieces of California. There's Southern California, Central California, and Northern California. And sometimes we can be like a completely different. You know what I'm saying? There's like you could, I guess, surf in Morro Bay or Half Moon Bay, or you probably get more. There's probably more likely about be getting bitten by a shark there, but than San Diego and Los Angeles kind of thing. But so we're kind of like there's like actually. Would you say there's kind of a different mindset or something? There's like a different world or what?
It's totally different cultures. Absolutely.
Yeah.
People realize to drive from like one end of California to the other, I mean, that'd take like 17, 18 hours.
Dude, you got to pack a lunch or either that or stop someplace. But you're right. It's not as big as Texas,
No.
but it is a long distance, right?
Yeah.
I've driven to my mom. My mom lives in Medford, Oregon.
Okay.
So I've driven there a couple times. Now I just fly. Okay, but so the only thing I knew about Petaluma was Polly Klaus, right? Remember what happened with her, right?
Yeah. So Polly Klaus was a girl who, for those that don't know, this was 1997 or 8, maybe like late 90s. But basically a guy, she was having a sleepover with her friends. A guy climbs in the window, ties up the two friends, and abducts her.
Right.
And she disappears.
Right.
So mass scale, manhunt, trying to find her for months and months and months. They end up finding her, and she's been killed.
Right.
And so they find the guy who had done it. They arrest him. The thing about it that was really crazy was they don't know why he did it. He admitted to doing it, but he never said why. He never said how he found her, how he picked her, nothing. Now, another weird part is I grew up with a girl who was in the room that night.
No, dude, are you serious?
Yeah, she was a year younger than me. And her mom used to babysit us when I was a kid.
Wow.
And then after it happened, I was in a volunteer group because I had to do volunteer hours for getting arrested. Another story. But I was doing volunteer work for this group, and she joined the volunteer work, not voluntarily, not by mandatory court order like I had to. But so she and I reconnected, and then she was kind of going through like, yeah, that happened. It's pretty crazy. But Petaluma is a strange town. It's only about 60,000 people, but
I thought it was small.
Yeah. Have you heard of Lagunitas beer?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So that's here in Petaluma.
Okay.
We're a huge brew mecca. There's like 6 breweries all around Lagunitas. And so you can walk around and sample different beer, hang out, different beer gardens. There's live music.
Yeah.
We have several live music venues in town. We have a huge bar scene here with like 8 to 10 bars, all within like 2 blocks for a small town, not like.
And you guys are like about 45 minutes from San Francisco, north of San Francisco.
Yeah, a little bit less, but yeah, about that. And we're in the wine country, so we're pretty lucky. It is expensive, but we're lucky.
Nice. You guys check it out if you get a chance. It's a nice area. My daughter goes to San Francisco State, and so I keep on saying that one of these days I'm just going to pop over and see you. So I'll have to do it. I'll have to pop over and see you. Okay, so you went to high school there too, right?
Yeah, I went to Petaluma High. I actually went to San Francisco State for like a semester, but San Francisco is a different city just in general.
That's true.
And then when you go to a large university, which I wasn't quite used to, I went to a junior college first, and I went to San Francisco State, and then I was in like a class like 250 people. You never sat next to the same person.
Wow.
The only class I had was 60 people, was the smallest, and I was the only heterosexual white male. And so I was like total like a bashing post, and then I was getting a psych degree. So then people were like trying to pick me apart the whole time, and I kind of enjoyed it. It was a good challenge, but at the same time, I wasn't really learning anything,
dude.
So it was a little rough.
Did you graduate high school? Did you actually graduate college?
Yeah, graduated with a degree in psychology on the dean's list, and like magna cum laude, and something else, but that was a long time ago.
Dude, I mean, but I'm glad you were able to apply what you learned and you became a paintballer. Yay.
Yeah. Like
exactly.
Using psychology every day to stay afloat. That's the whole
exactly, dude. All right, cool. All right. So that's cool. You're interesting because, okay, when a lot of times when we think about our two aspects of our sport, I usually call it the 80-20 rule. And to me, 80% is what I usually do, which is the rec ball, woods ball scenario kind of thing. 20% is kind of what you guys got to do, which is the tournament kind of thing, right?
Right.
And I'm always trying to, I'm not so much anymore, but I was always trying to analyze it. Like, what kind of people are attracted to our sport? What is that thing that we have like all in common kind of thing? Is it a economic kind of thing? Is it an educational thing? Do we love to shoot people? I mean, I don't know what it is, right? So when I first met, 2008 is when I first met Sonny Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And I told the story before. But basically, I was with Gary Baum. We were walking in an event, and Sonny was sitting on it was a hot day. He had his shirt off. He had all these tattoos on and like this. And I'm like, shit, Gary, what are you getting me into? Like this like gang member kind of paintball. What the hell is this? And Sonny opened his mouth and started talking. And I was like, this guy's pretty educated. This is like, and then it kind of just shot the whole theory down of don't judge a book by its cover. And then what I started seeing is a lot of the speedballers, a lot of the tournament guys, were college, had some college or college educated, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then a lot of the rec ball guys are like very salt of the earth, kind of like, hardworking 9-to-5ers, blue collar kind of things.
Right.
But a lot of the speedballers I found were like, again, more higher level as far as the education is concerned. Do you see that? Or am I kind of skewed to what? Because we just talked about John Paul and that kind of thing. And I'm like, there seems to be like, I don't know. Do people gravitate towards it with a higher? I don't know. Fill me in.
I would never really notice that, to be honest. But I think too is like you say 80-20. I think that 80% of people you're going to find are a general mix. A lot of blue collar, a lot of guys that it's just their release to play paintball. They don't necessarily feel like, oh, I have to win. I'm here to enjoy time with my friends. And that's going to be, any kind of economic status. That's just gonna be the type of dude,
Right.
And I think both of us know guys that make, high 6 figures, and you would never know that because they're just a dude. They're like hanging out, playing paintball or having a beer, and you're like, you own that company? Holy smokes. Like, wow. All right. And they're just sitting next to a guy that, drives a dump truck.
Right. Exactly.
And they're both like the same dude, and they both enjoy paintball. I've thought about that a lot too, especially. So when I was studying psychology, I was, my minor was performance psychology. I studied with Glenn Brassington. He's a psychological evaluator and kind of advisor for the San Francisco Giants, the 49ers, and then also Stanford's football team. And when you look at it psychologically for paintball, they're just completely different aspects. Mm-hmm. So everyone wants to win, I think, that's natural. Right. But I think the guys that are playing speedball, their drive is so much higher to win because the amount of money they've put into it, their self-perception of it. And then when you see people that they are like, oh, I want to be a professional paintball player. It's like, well, why? It's because they are trying to gain prestige. They want to win. They want to be the best. Will they? Probably not for the grand majority.
Right.
And two, what is really interesting that I've never seen. So I've played sports my whole life. I've played, I was a state championship wrestler, played, Olympic development team for soccer, did a bunch of different stuff. And I've always done pretty well. I was never the best, but I've always competed my whole life. And when you get to paintball, there's guys that are like, yeah, I picked paintball as my sport. And you're like, what else you done? They don't know how to run. They don't know how to slide. They don't know how to dive. They don't know how to take a hit. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's really interesting because you don't see a 19-year-old guy be like, I'm going to be a professional soccer player today. Like, well, you've been doing it a week. So stars, bro. But in paintball, you see that, which is part of its magic. And I think it's really cool because there's people that I started in the woods. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I had no idea about competition or tournaments or anything. And I played for years in the woods and still try to play as much as I can in the woods because I really think that's the soul of paintball. Mm-hmm. And because of what I do with my store and my field and, you know, my brand with Gunfighter Sports, it's like I have to be involved in the speedball. But I think that how people try to pick and choose, it doesn't matter. I think that anybody that wants to put their mind to it can excel in this sport, whether it's scenario or, you know, speedball. I mean, look at yourself.
Right.
You're one of the best known scenario players probably in the world, right?
Wait. Did you check to see if the money got into the PayPal yet before you start saying that? Because I don't want you to.
But on a scale of 1 to 10, how great of a player do you think you are?
I'm not. That's the whole point. Is
you enjoy it.
And that's the whole point. I love it. I have a great time. I hug people if they shoot me. I give them a card, right? Yep. I'm not the best player at all. I mean, dude, you know why? Because this sport is a great equalizer.
Exactly.
A 10-year-old can shoot me out, right?
100%.
If any person is going to brag about being like the best player, especially in paintball, they're the ones who usually gets pissed off when a 10-year-old bunkers them or something like this, right?
Lose their mind.
Yeah. No. And that's the cool thing about it is like,
are you talking about me? Because I feel attacked right now.
Fuck you. So you're right. What you're saying is that, I never use the word athlete in my nomenclature. I never say that. I never say I'm an athlete. I never say that I just say that I'm a celebrity ambassador to the sport kind of thing. That's what I say.
Right.
And I can't run for a long distance. I'm not even, there's no way. If I played against Ryan, I played against Ollie, I played against all these guys, right? These guys are professional athletes.
Right.
I just walk and aim my pistols. What kind of sport is that? That's not an athlete. So I
like, is it a sport? And I always say like, hey, you can call it a sport, a hobby, a game, whatever it is, you know, if you're enjoying yourself and you're meeting new friends, you're meeting new people, that's enough for me.
Right.
You know, if you want to call yourself an athlete, great. If you just are a character, great. If you're just a player, great. Like whatever it is, I think when people start labeling it too hard, we're boxing ourselves out and we're boxing ourselves in.
Right.
So you're not allowing people to be, you know, in your box, and yet you're not getting to see what's in their box. And that's why, like I said, it's like, I like to play woods ball. I like to, I play airsoft, I play pump, I play mechanical. Anything to shoot people and have a beer afterwards is great with me.
Oh, even this?
That's perfect. So
wait, what is that? That's real steel.
That's a Tommy gun. Yeah.
That's a real steel. My God. Okay. All right. So yes, I agree. The other thing is that there has been debates about, is it a hobby? Is it a sport? If you get flown all over the place, if you get invited to games, if you get paid, is that still a hobby? Because if you're getting paid to do your hobby, then that's not really a hobby. As far as I'm concerned. Like when you were on John Paul's, or when you played NXL, right? You're getting sponsored. You're getting paid. You're getting paid, right? I'm assuming, yeah.
You're compensated, yeah.
That's no longer a hobby,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So I think that yes, if you see a little kid playing basketball in Venice Beach, right? It's still connected to what Michael Jordan does. It's still that's, you know what I'm saying? He's just playing the hobby part of it, but then there's actually a professional part of it too. And so I do believe that our sport is a sport. And we have aspects of it, which is the hobby part or just whatever. But to me, you're the ultimate of that. You're part of the sport part of it.
I've been really blessed that basically like I'm in every aspect of paintball. So I run my store, so I'm on the retail side. I've been lucky enough to have a field now for 7 years, so we have the field side. I've played professionally. I've played non-professionally to work my way up to professional. I still play in the tournaments. I've worked in the industry. I used to work for CAP. I might have been possibly before your time, but that was a company out in Northern California, and they did a bunch of custom stuff, innovators on a lot of different things. I worked for Cap, and then now I work for MacDev and run MacDev USA. So their headquarters here and do their warehousing and repairs and stuff. So basically, I'm in every single aspect of paintball, and I'm really lucky to be able to do that. On the other hand, I never escaped paintball. So when I was playing professional, I would work 5 days a week, paintball. And then after that, I would go and train both days on the weekends, usually driving. When I was playing for Bushwhackers, we would leave Friday night, drive through the night, get there at 2 or 3 in the morning, sleep for 3 or 4 hours, get up at 8.
Get where?
So I drive from Northern California to Southern California and play at Hollywood Sports.
Dude, what year was this?
That was 2006. So we did that for a year and basically drove to LA every weekend. And there was a group of us, we were mama's boys, and we had won World Cup like 3 or 4 years in a row, from rookie, novice up to amateur. And then kind of in 05, I had an offer to go play with Critical, and we weren't sure what we were going to do. So that's what I did and played with John Paul. And then in 06, Bushwhackers had open tryouts for their pro teams. And basically I called my guys and was like, hey, let's go. So we went and all of us made the team. And Bushwhackers had like 9 teams. And so they owned 2 of the 16 pro spots or 18 pro spots. So they had Bushwhackers and Sedition back then. And they owned both of those spots. And their idea was you could win a pro spot in semi-pro. And we were so good, hey, we'll win a spot in semi-pro with my squad. We'll have the Bushwhackers keep their pro spot, and we'll get a 3rd pro spot having Sedition.
Wow.
The problem, though, Sedition and the other Bushwhackers did so bad that they lost their 2 pro spots. And when we moved up with our pro spot, we were the only team left. So that didn't work out that well. But
it sounded good on paper.
Yeah, it was a great idea. And Ron Kilborn, the master of so many plans, was putting it all together. And I learned a lot from Ron and from the program. And we played for Bushwhackers for 3 years. 1 in semi-pro and then 2 in pro. And then from there, I went to play for Bob, I think, after that. But
all right. So
a lot of commitment. I mean, going to LA every weekend.
Dude, that is, again, that's not a hobby. You know what I'm saying? No. That's more than a hobby. Okay, let's do this. I started in 2008. And I always tell people before I drank the Kool-Aid, I knew nothing. Even though I was best friends with Gary Baum, we used to go mountain biking and all that. He never spoke about it.
Right.
So when I drank the Kool-Aid in 2008, and I freaked out and I said, this is like the most amazing thing in the world. And he said, just relax, just be a player, don't get involved. And I'm like, no, I got these ideas. I created the Widsball Tournament League. I created a league actually like 6 months after I started playing. Right. And I started understanding how you guys, back then it was the NPPL. And it was the NPPL, the SPPL, and that was a Woodsball league. I think there was another. I think Henman had his own league or something like that too. I'm not sure. And then about 2 months later, Tom Cole came to me. Or he like called me up and he goes, "Hey, my name's Tom Cole, and I want to have lunch with you." I go, "Hey, I'm married. I don't know who you are. What do you want?" He was working for Spider, so I went there, and he laid out his plans and he showed me. He said, "Listen, you're my competition." I said, "For what? I don't even know who you are." And he goes, "I'm creating this thing called the UWL." And so whatever. So there was a bit of a rough patch at the start, but then we became friends. But anyway, I didn't even know what the NPPL was. I didn't know what I was just like focused on, I love the sport. Right.
Right.
I could feel that it was going to become more than a hobby for me. It was going to become something that because when I'm passionate about something, stand-up comedy, whatever it is, get out of my way. Just like, and so I fell in love with it. And then I started seeing all aspects of it, like what you guys did. Like what, like the professional, there was professional scenario guys. I saw all this stuff and I'm like, this is just so amazing. But my hat was off to you guys that, like, again, the rigorous practices that you guys would do, drills, like, dive into the snake, get to the Dorito, get to the 50, bam, bam, bam. And I was like watching you not you, but I was watching in Hollywood Sports. And I was like, this is like too much work. This is like, I don't like this part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just like people. So yeah, my hat's off to you, brother. That was crazy stuff. Let me go back a bit. So we graduated from college. When did you start playing?
I started playing when I was like 16 years old. I'd always heard about it, and I actually bought a magazine. I saw it at like a grocery store, and I want to say it was like a action pursuit games.
Seriously, that's amazing.
Yeah, they had a couple cool magazines back then. There was Action Pursuit Games. Then there
Jungle,
was,
Full.
yep, Paintball Games
Yeah.
International. And then
Right.
the one that I can't remember what year it came out, but Faceful was an international magazine. It was super sick.
Right.
And so I had bought an Action Pursuit Games in like a supermarket, and I was leaving to go live with my uncle in Europe. And I took it with me, and I basically read it like cover to cover. I knew everything in it. I took it everywhere. And when I got there, my uncle works for the U.S. military, and he runs what's called the MWR, which is Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. And so he had a big campground he ran. He did like river rafting trips and like downhill mountain biking. He organized like fairs for the military and stuff. But one of his things they had was a bunch of paintball guns. And he had all these Stingrays. And I was like, holy shit, you have, oh my God. I was so pumped. And so he's like, okay, before you leave to go back home, which I was going to be there like 4 months, we'll play paintball. And so every day, I was like 16 years old. I'm like, when are we going to play paintball? What day? Well, you have to find a place, because in Germany, the laws are very different.
I know.
A paintball gun is assumed to be a real gun. And so you have to, and theirs is based on joules of power. So how fast the projectile is going with how much force. Again, something for a guy smarter than me. But what it comes out to is paintball guns can't shoot faster than 180 feet per second. Which 214
now. FPS today is 214 in Germany.
They upped it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you can throw farther than that, but yeah.
Exactly. So they were like saying we had to play on an American base somewhere, because the guns were technically guns.
Right.
So it took a while, but we figured out, and my little brother had come over. I have a younger brother who's 3 years younger. He'd come over, and we went out in the woods with all these guys in the military and played with them. And I just had the best time. And I was like, I have to do this. So a week later, I was in like a freak accident and fell off of a small building and like smashed my arm to pieces.
Yo.
So, like, how do I get down here? So I have this scar right here. You can see.
Wow. Yeah.
So I smashed my forearm up into my bicep and had to have it relocated. And I spent like a week in an Austrian hospital, and then I had to fly back and have it like relocated and then surgery. And in that time, I lost my magazine.
No.
I was freaking out because I remember going into surgery and I had my magazine. I'd had it for like 5 months, took it everywhere. And I played paintball. So I was like obsessed now. And I remember before I went under the knife, they had like the mask on me, and I was like counting down, and I gave the magazine to my dad, and I was like, don't lose this. I won't. Like, he doesn't give a shit. It's like, what a fucking magazine? Like, whatever, dude. Like, he lost it immediately.
No.
So when I woke up, I was like, oh, all right, I'm okay. I'm like, where's my magazine? He's like, oh, I'll get you another one. I'm like, no. So, but after that, I mean, I was 16 years old. My parents gave me some money for Christmas. It was like $50. And they're like, oh, if you want to buy a paintball gun. And I'd saved all my money. But at that point, you couldn't buy a paintball gun unless you were 18.
Oh,
so
really?
Call them and then order it over the phone and act like, I was an adult. And then I had to mail my money in back then on like a mail order, which I'd never done. And so then they mailed me my first Spider. And shit was on.
Dude.
I still got it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, on my wall at the shop. My first gun, my buddy's first gun was a Tracer pump, and then my other buddy, his dad had like a Splat Master. So the three of us would go out and play with like slingshots. And yeah, dude, we played all the time. And then I was like the good one in the group. And we met these guys, the restaurant I worked at, they all played. So then we got this like whole crew together. There was like 10 or 15 of us every weekend playing. And then we started going to stores. The store invited us to play with them. And then we went out there and destroyed them. They're like, you're pretty good. You want to play a tournament? I was like, sure. Had my Spider with like the CO2 on backwards, front, like little red dot on the top. It's pretty sweet.
Dude, that's cool. That's a great story. Tell me about this. I'm going to pop up some pictures. Tell me about it, okay?
Sure.
What's this?
So this is Team USA. This is the Masters division. So Masters is 40 years and over. Now,
okay,
some people may not know like a lot of these guys in the picture here, but these guys are like really legends. If you start on the top left, that's Dave Painter. So Dave Painter is runs Fox Paintball in the Northeast, like near Boston, and he does a huge tournament league series. So Team USA has 3 teams, well, actually 4. There's the men's professional, which is a mix of U.S. players handpicked to represent the United States and play against other countries.
Wow.
So the professional team ended up getting second for men's professional. Then there was under 19s. So under 19s was a mostly male team, and they're all under 19 years old, and they were selected to go. They had tryouts. They practiced together the whole year, and then we went to play in Amsterdam. I was asked to play on the 40 and over. They asked me a month before my 40th birthday, and we're like, "Oh, we can lie about your age." They thought I was younger, and I'm like, "Well, actually, I turned 40 next month, so that'll work out." So we were asked to play for the men's team, 40 and over, and then there's a women's team as well. And so we all flew to Amsterdam to play against other countries from all over the world in our own divisions.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, really fun.
Do you guys still get together? You still play? What do you guys is still like part of your life?
So yes and no. So I've been invited back this year to do the 40 Masters division. This year they're going to run a little differently. Last year what they did was they basically just invited you and you're on the team. So because it was the first time they'd had a Masters division. They'd never had one before. And so with that, they weren't quite sure what they were doing. And they were so busy with the women's team and the under 19s team that they were like, oh, well, the old guys can figure it out. And we kind of did, but we had a hard time not having a coach. We had one practice where not even everybody made it. And then we flew off to Amsterdam to compete where there was a torrential downpour. And you can see in that picture, it's just a mud bog.
Right.
So we were splashing around the mud. It rained for 2 weeks straight. It was just brutal conditions. And then on top of it, we had myself and then my good friend Shane Howe, who plays professionally still for DMG. He and I have been playing together for 20 years. So we're both on one side of the field. It's going to be lights out. It's bad news. Well, when it's raining and pissing rain and you can't run, our speed is basically useless. So It was pretty tough for us. We ended up taking second overall, which that's okay, but
that's not bad at all.
Yeah,
dude.
So no, we took third. We took third. Shit, I just lied.
All right,
third. So that's pretty.
I'll edit that out in post. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
All right. Just edit that out. All right. What's this?
So that's the team I'm currently playing for, Gray Area. We're playing Division 2 in Mike Hinman's league, the WCPPL. We started out playing Division 3. We won the series that year, and then we played Division 2 and won the series that year as well. And then last year we I guested with another team, another Gray Area team actually, in Division 3, and then we won the series that year. So the hard part is, dude, I work. And so playing paintball gets in the way. And it's I can't have every Sunday. I have a 9-year-old son. I have a girlfriend. And I run 3 or 4 businesses, depending on what I want to look at. It's having paintball on Sundays is tough. And then having to take off a whole weekend or travel for a week.
Right.
On the MacDev booths for the NXL and organizing that during events. I have to send the texts out. It's there's a lot to do. And it's hard, to keep ratcheting up as you get older, as you have more responsibilities. It costs more money and time and everything else. And then the travel, to play professionally again, A, I don't know if I'm good enough. B, to travel and go wherever I would have to go to play for a team like that would be incredibly difficult.
Right.
To maintain everything I do, and to maintain everything I do, to live where I live and have what I have, and is rough. So
what's interesting is that, listen, I get this, Gary gives me this, the player pass, the tag, I can go on the pits, right? During the NXL, I go and I get to hang out with you guys and everything like that. And I get to hang out with the Russian Legion. I hung out with them at Hollywood Sports, and I hung out with them in Vegas. And they don't have any of your worries. That's like an Olympic team. Right. These guys are getting paid to be paintball players, and that's all they do is train and train and train. And it's just like, to me, when I look at you guys, as American Olympic. You have to like, do you want fries with that? Oh, hang on a second, I'm practicing swimming. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like, wow, I don't get it. But the Russians, they're like, this is their job, this is their kind of thing. But here's the cool thing. With all your distractions, you're still coming in first, second, third. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it doesn't matter how much you're getting paid to do it. And even if you're Russian Legion, they're not always winning. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's true. I mean, so the top tier teams in the professional league, there are guys getting paid and it is their job.
Right.
But they know too is, let's say you have a bad accident. Let's say you twist your ankle or you blow out your knee or you break your hand. How long are you going to be on that team?
Exactly.
And so it's not a contract like a football contract or a baseball contract. And it's like, oh, you blew out your knee. That's cool, dude. You still get 3 million of your 6. Like, it's not like that.
No.
And it's not even close to those numbers on money either.
No.
And so these guys that are playing professionally are really putting a lot of things at risk in their life, in real life, like their relationships, with their girlfriends or wives, sometimes over their commitment, their jobs.
Yep.
They have real jobs and they can't lose them. They got kids, they got mortgages, they got car payments. Like, it's not what people always, perceive it to be.
Right. And the interesting thing, you've got like people in there. I'm not right. Ryan's going to get pissed off at me, but not you, not you, Ryan, but the other Ryan Greenspan. You have people that are like, he's pretty much like at the peak. He's like, in our sport, we celebrate these, athletes that are like 20 years old, in their teens, 20s, whatever. When they get to be about Ryan's age, or even like you're 40, but you're kind of like running basically on thin ice now, as far as our sport is concerned.
Yeah.
And
Greenspan's still on top. Like, I'm over the hill. I'm rolling down the other side. I'm playing lower divisions and just trying to beat up on some kids. So it's like,
and Greenspan is still on top, but again, for how much longer? And I wish him the best. I want to see him 60 years old and still diving, right? Diving into the snake. I still want to see him. But I'm just telling you, our sport eats up people. On your part of the thing. On our part, you can be like, 800 pounds and you'll be considered like a bunker. People hide behind you and you're just like shooting, you got a max loader, you've got 1,000. But you couldn't take that guy. And I guess back in the day you could. He was called the back player. But today, you couldn't do that anymore in your sport, right? There's like, you're dedicated. It's almost like a chess game.
Yeah, you can, but you're only going to reach like a certain level.
Right.
And there's a guy, actually, his name is Alex Rodriguez, and he plays on the Ironman. So I don't know Alex really well. I've literally like talked to him like maybe a couple times, but I'm just a huge fan of the dude because people don't know him before this, but he used to be built like a freaking milk truck.
Wow.
Like, he was a big fat kid. And he was a good paintballer, and people, from what I understand, told him like, dude, you're really good. You're just too big and this and that, he must've lost. I've seen pictures of him. I shit you not. He must've lost like 120 pounds.
Wow.
He was a completely different person. And him in the game right now, he's a beast. Like, he is a game changer. People are talking about him like on the level of Oliver and, Ryan Greenspan. And watching him play, he is a really dynamic, athletic, smart player. And he went from being that back player as a kid. He was that as a kid and was like, no, this is what I want to do. And now is one of the best in the game currently. And so a guy like that, like, I'm just like, dude, that's so awesome. It's an inspiration. And I don't understand why people don't talk about it more or point it out, because I haven't heard it and I think it's rad. So,
you know what? I always tell people that, I don't know about on your side of the sport, but I always say about my side of the sport, paintball kind of attracts broken people sometimes, whether it's PTSD, whether it's spousal abuse or whatever, whether it's drug abuse or whatever. There seems to be this thing that attracts people. But when they come to our community embraces them, and our community like sometimes fixes these, whatever the situation is. It's such a healing thing that our sport. So I've seen guys, like you said, actually there's a guy, we've just become friends lately. He's with 313 Mutants, and he told us that he was like 475 pounds.
Wow.
And I made a joke of him. I I joke with everybody, but
Right.
so last year, basically, we were at a scenario event, and he had his like pod pack around his belt, around his waist, and his belly was sticking over. And I'd never met the guy before. And then like he walked over to introduce himself. I go, "Hey, when are you expecting?" Right? And so but see that's David Justin Reaper kind of humor.
Right.
That I'm going to stand in front of Mexicans and say, "Buenos dias, pendejos." You know what I'm saying? So okay.
That
so
was
what
the
I'm
thing
saying
you got
is,
off the plane though when you said that, and that was really awesome.
don't say that to the customs guy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you were close though.
I was no, but he joked with me, and he knew right away what kind of guy I was. That I'm just a joking kind of fun guy. So he's told me that a year later now that we had him on the show, and he's lost all of this pounds. He doesn't look like the same guy, but paintball did that. He fell in love with paintball, and he fell in love with. So that's what I'm saying about our sport. There's something magical about this thing, and so this whether it's speedball, whether it's rec ball, whatever it is, it helps people. And so yeah, Alex Rodriguez, right?
Yeah, shout out to Alex Rodriguez. I know we're not friends or anything, dude, but I got mad respect for you. So
there you go. All right, what is this?
Oh wow, that is a really old photo. That is the first World Cup we won in 2002.
Wow.
Yeah,
when you're saying World Cup, we're talking Florida.
Yeah, in Florida. That was 2000.
That was the NPPL.
Back then it was the NPPL. So that's the year they introduced what we now know as tournament paintball. Back then it was called Expo.
Oh, interesting.
And there's my boy Shane Howe right in the middle.
Where's that in the middle? All right.
Jersey. So he's also standing in the middle of that Team USA picture. So he and I have been playing together that long in tournaments.
Dude, that's awesome. That is cool. Okay, hold on a second. And then what is, let me see. You're getting very intimate with this person.
Yeah. So I think that was at the Bob Long tryouts. You can see the guy in the upper center or in the upper right. So I bunkered him in the center 50, and then I came around and bunkered this guy. So what's funny is this dude who I'm bunkering, he worked for me at my shop.
Oh no.
And he played on like a Division II team. His name is John Miller. We called him Sunshine. And so I bunkered his buddy Devin in the 50, who he was supposed to be protecting, then came around and bunkered him. And someone got a picture of it. So of course I hung it up in the shop, and he'd be there like, "Oh yeah, I'm the one in the back. That's me." And then the boss is the other guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I've seen you wear the shirt a lot. This is your favorite. This is Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. JCVD, man. Bloodsport.
You're like a big fan of his, right? You didn't go for the Chuck Norris. You went for him.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Chuck Norris too. Don't get me wrong, but
all right.
Bloodsport, Bloodsport, my favorite movie.
No, we're not casting any shadow on Chuck. I don't want him to kick my ass. All right. So I think that you've been through several. You've been through Valken. You've been through GI. Have you been through that's usually what happens in our sport, where a lot of the players like get connected, I guess, to a company or something. Is that what were you connected or what?
Not really. So what happens a lot in the tournament is teams will get connected with companies. So it's more of a team, not an individual.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I've played for GI teams. I play like Gray Area now as an APX team. I've played for a couple Valken teams, but mostly GI because they've been around so long. In the last couple of years, APX. But that photo was with the Naughty Dogs. I played World Cup with them in 2018. And Rocky had called me and asked if I wanted to play. He's been
again. Listen, we're letting it. Get out of your box. You told me you were in your. Get out of the. Let everybody know who these people are, so I can introduce the world to them.
So Rocky,
wait.
He's played professional forever.
I'm tattoo my knuckles. Hang on a second. I was going to tattoo my knuckles. What's it say on his knuckles?
On Rocky? Oh, you're talking about Rocky Cagnoni.
Oh, Cagnoni. Oh, different Rocky. Sorry.
Very different people.
Very different.
So Rocky Cagnoni is like a small, hyped out rock star who is a character unto himself. Special man.
He's great.
Hilarious, so funny. Great
Right.
paintball player. He was playing pro, and I think he was done playing pro when I started playing pro, and probably like 04, 05. But in like 2002 and 3, I remember going to my first big events and just being in awe of Rocky. And he was if you watch the movie Push, which is one of the first paintball movies, he's kind of one of the stars in that. And then Rocky Knuth was the captain of Naughty Dogs from the Northwest. And they were a professional team for years and years and years, associated with the Autococker and War Games for a long time. They were sponsored by them, sponsored by GI Sports. And now the Naughty Dogs have kind of reemerged to start playing again. And Rocky and his son DJ are both running Naughty Dogs out of the Northwest again in Portland.
Cool. Good. Listen, we have a lot of international viewers, Sweden, Holland, Germany, Mexico, all over the place. And I apologize, but I keep on my knowledge of our sport is like Swiss cheese, right? Because I started in 2008 and I got fast tracked to become a celebrity. What's his name? Brad Pitt came to my house and shook my hand in 2014. He says, now you're a celebrity. No, but the problem is that I don't have your history. And thank God for John Amadeo for making that video of, you know, the history of our sport, basically.
Yeah.
So
great video.
you know why it's great? Because I'm in it. So no, but my knowledge of that, and I feel sometimes that the viewers or the fans or the people watching it sometimes have that same thing. So that's why I keep on stopping you about, like, you know, the NXL, NPPL, that kind of thing. I want them to fill in the gaps too, so they'll, you know, kind of get a more rounded thing. I apologize for me interrupting you all the time.
No, it's fine. Yeah, like it's one of those things when people come to the store too, is like I'm just rattling off numbers and
right.
yes, and this PSI and blah blah. They're like,
he's like, what? I know.
And I'm like, let me slow it down. So,
all right, what's this?
That is us taking second, I think, in professional when I was playing for Explicit. My good buddy Matt Jones there, who's now like a semi-professional dirt bike racer.
Wow.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if we have my buddy Prince. He's he's actually a professional MMA fighter. He fights in Bellator. He used to play on Bushwhackers with us. So,
all right.
Yeah, it's like I said, athletes move on to do things. You're going to compete in whatever you do when you're an athlete. That was when I was playing for Bob Long. We were a Valken team. You can see there.
Right.
For Oakland Blast.
Dude, that's amazing. All right. So let me do this. Let me get rid of this one here. And all right. So we've got a kind of a well-rounded, I guess, view of your history in the paintball. What is this one? What is that? It just popped up all of a sudden.
So that one, popped up, I'm sure. So that actually was one of the best paintball experiences in my life. It was in 2007. We had just made our pro debut in 2007 at Huntington Beach. I think we ended up getting third or fourth, our first event pro. We got in a bar fight the night before with our entire team. The police were called. We had to run. That's a whole nother story for another podcast. But we ended up at Huntington Beach the next morning and competing. They made an announcement, Bushwhackers fresh off of a bar fight at Dave & Buster's, making their pro debut. And we ended up doing really well and getting to the top 4 for our first time pro. From that, Ron Kilborn, who owned the team, kind of got everybody together. And Malaysia was having a tournament, and they're inviting an exhibition set of teams. So it was Infamous, Excessive, Dynasty, and Bushwhackers.
Wow.
So basically like 3 incredibly good teams and us. So we were stoked. Like, we had never hung out with other professional teams. We were total misfits, new guys on the block. We flew out of San Francisco down to LA, where we met up with Dynasty and Infamous, and Excessive was there. And we're getting on a flight to go to Malaysia, where we were going to have an exhibition tournament, the 4 of us playing each other. So in true Bushwhacker fashion, we got super drunk.
No.
The airport. We almost got in a fight with the guys from Panic at the Disco because I tried to force feed a roast beef sandwich to the lead singer on the bus. And again, a whole nother story. But we got on the plane and we go into Malaysia and had a great time. And we ended up winning the tournament. I think the other teams were taking it seriously because we were taking it very seriously because, again, we were the new guys on the block. We had something to prove. The other teams were having a great time. And the other teams, Dynasty was so cool to us. Alex Frazier, Yosh, Greenspan, Eric Crandall, who runs the team. Everyone was so nice and so professional to us. All the infamous guys, John Richardson, Brian Fow. God, they were all so great. And we got to hang out with them. They were so cool. We had such a fun time. We ended up winning the tournament and then just going and partying with them. And that was taking the bus from Kuala Lumpur 7 hours to where they have their Malaysian Olympiads train is where they're having the event. And they had the prime minister come meet us. It was very cool. And on the 7-hour bus ride with 4 professional teams, they made a couple pit stops and those dudes wanted to take my picture. And we were eating like raw fish heads and shrimp puffs, and it was just a blast.
That is cool. You guys, and I'm going to, again, here's the holes in my thing, but I'm just quoting basically from Gary Baum, is that Malaysia took their paintball very, very serious. It was when you were invited by the Malaysian government, they're basically taking care of it. They're flying you in, they're housing you, they're feeding, that's it. They're just done. When Malaysia calls, you answer and you say yes, and bam, they take it so serious that the opening ceremonies, the prime minister, the king, whoever it is, he comes and watches the game. I don't think he plays, but he makes you guys feel like royalty. Is that how it kind of went?
It was a blast. We didn't pay for anything. They gave us like a small allowance. And then when we won, they gave us money. They had handlers to make sure that, whatever we did and went, and like we had people that would take care of things we needed to. It wasn't, I wouldn't say royalty, but we were treated very, very well and very well taken care of. And everyone's so nice and welcoming. We just had the best time.
Yeah, dude. I think that was called the Spider event. No, I'm joking. Remember the Spider? There used to be a Spider series here before I started. I think 2000, and they used to give away Humvees, and they used to give, right. That was like when paintball was like, had a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know if they gave away Humvees. They gave away Mustangs.
Oh, really? I saw it one time. I thought there was a black Humvee or something. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, but that's back when paintball had its money. Okay, cool. So anyway. That was Malaysia. That's cool. All right. So you decide to, in the midst of all of this craziness, you're playing paintball, you've graduated college, or you started your business. You decide to procreate?
Well, I didn't decide to. It just happens.
It just happened.
Yeah.
Dude, that's another responsibility, dude. That's another, you know what I'm saying? That's dude, I got 2 kids.
Right.
21 and 23. That's you can't explain. Because you're not, what I know about you, you're not a delinquent dad. You know what I'm saying? You're
right.
Not like oh, that's my kid. Doesn't look like me. Sorry. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So you're in. So now there's not enough time in the day. You're completely absorbed into paintball, right? You've got all this shit going on, and now you got a kid. My hat's off to you, brother.
Yeah, it's a blast though. I mean, he's 9 now. He's a monster. He enjoys paintball, but he kind of broke it to me about 6 months ago. He didn't want to play paintball anymore, and he wants to play soccer. And
okay,
yeah. Well, the thing about it is he played paintball with us all the time, so he was playing against adults. And when he'd come to my paintball field, he'd be like 8 years old, have all his own stuff, and be like, "Hey, I'll play you guys." And like 2 13-year-olds are like, us? He's like, yeah. And so he'd play 2-on-1 all the time and then beat them most of the time. And so everyone's like, holy shit, this little kid. And so his confidence is like through the roof. You know, paintball is a great equalizer.
Right.
So then he comes out to tryouts with us, and where he can run snake on the break against anybody at my field. Now he's playing against determined tournament players on a tryout day. And so he's getting shot over and over and over and over. At 8 years old, his ego is distraught, like just wrecked. So then he goes to soccer. He's scoring like 5 goals a game. The end of the season, they win the state cup. He's the MVP, and he wins the golden boot for scoring the most goals in the league. And he's like, I'm going to do soccer, not paintball.
That's cool.
All right, dude. Whatever you want to do, bro. So
it's in, listen, it's in his blood, and I'm sure.
Yeah. That was like yesterday.
Dude, look at this kid. Dude, you're doing something right, brother, man.
Yeah, he goes. He's fun.
That's amazing. Okay, so now we kind of got your history. We got your paintball. Got the kids under control. The kid under control. How old is he now? Like 10?
He's 9. Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know when I guess. I'm just sizes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like he looks like it, whatever. And then you decide to, well, you didn't decide. You kind of had this thing. You guys behind me, this is the thing and the same thing.
Yeah.
This idea called Playland. Did you buy the area? Are you renting the area? Do you have like the?
So Playland is, so when I started my store, I knew nothing about business, nothing. And I just had like a bunch of prizes because back in the day, when you won a tournament, you would get prizes.
Right.
Now you get like cash usually.
Right.
But you would get like guns and you would get like equipment. And when we were sponsored on Mama's Boys and there was magazines, if you got your picture in the magazine, I was sponsored by ViewLoader. It was a picture of you. You would get like 5 loaders. If it was a full page, you get like 20.
Whoa.
And we were winning all the time. And I was like the captain and obviously the most handsome on the team. And so pictures all the time. And so I got all these loaders just constantly sent to me. And I was, giving them to the team. We were using them for team funds. Other guys got pictures. They would throw it in the pot. But my portion, I couldn't even sell fast enough. So my girlfriend at the time was like, oh, you should open a store. And I'm like, I don't know anything about it. She's like, we'll do a field then. Well, field is really difficult to do in California. So I ended up doing the store. I had the store for like a decade and playing paintball and doing all this stuff. I'm like, God, I wish I had a field. We could really do a lot better. I go to fields. I feel like I can do it better. And so we were able to get a lease and open our field. And the name Playland, I don't know how familiar you are with San Francisco, but San Francisco used to have an amusement park on the beach, and it was called Playland.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And like I said, my dad grew up there in San Francisco, and he used to tell us stories about Playland, which sounded like the most dangerous fucking place on earth. They were like, oh, it had a table that spun. If you didn't hang on, you'd shoot off and go off the cliff. And then they had these slides that came down, and then they were made of wood, and you'd pull splinters out of your butt. And like, I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome. And so Playland eventually kind of went out of business. And but he'd always tell these stories when he was a kid. And I was like, wow, Playland sounds like the coolest place ever. I wish I could have gone there. And so I decided I'd just build my own. And so that's what we did.
So you did indoor?
So we originally tried to do an indoor field, which in California is the worst idea ever. Some guys are able to pull it off, but there's not a lot of indoor fields in California. This space we had, it was huge. And basically we were never able to finish it. And so we had to move everything out. And the fire marshal nixed it, and we never were able to open. Wow. So I lost pretty much all of my savings, all of my investors' money, everything. It was really, really distraught, and basically had nothing. I had my son. I still had my store, and I kind of just pulled myself up by my bootstraps. I had a really good friend who was helping me. His name was Chris Hoke. I would not be where I am without him. And he basically was like, dude, let's just get it together, man. We're going to do this. We opened like a small airsoft field. And I just kept grinding and found the paintball field. And then we had like 3 locations with the paintball field, airsoft field, and my store. We weren't making any money because we were putting it all back into the business.
Right.
For about 2-3 years, Chris was just basically like, I can't do it anymore. He had a daughter, he worked full time. And I was like, dude, I get it. So he kind of left, and I consolidated our airsoft and our paintball into one location. We have laser tag. We're doing bubble soccer. We're doing archery tag. And so now we're an all outdoor facility with indoor laser tag. And we're doing really well besides,
What is this Home Depot? What is this?
No, that was our indoor airsoft field. The place was a freaking murder house, dude. Like,
beautiful.
Those poor kids would go in there and just like, it was a goddamn bloodbath. And kids with airsoft guns and laser tag, and it was brutal.
I would love to play paintball in that. What is this?
So that was just a laser tag event we did.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
So we
then,
did like cash laser tags events.
and then you're giving away prizes here?
Yeah. You win prizes, dude. How are you going to have a contest without
Yeah,
trophies
prizes.
and
I
money?
know. Dude, dude, you're killing it, brother. Dude, look at you. Is that Cash the guy's got?
There's Sunshine again. John Miller, the guy getting bunkered in the other photo on the left. There's Sunshine.
Oh my God, dude, you're killing it, man. Look at this. A lot of miles of smiles. Good job, brother. Dude.
Yeah. It's
Nice.
been a good run so far. We're just trying to keep it up, you know?
What is this thing?
So when you have a store or if you hang out at a store, one of the awesome parts and also the parts that drive you crazy are the people that come in with like all these crazy ideas. And there's this dude, Old Man Tom. He was retired and he was kind of into airsoft and kind of into paintball, but never competed. He just loved to like build stuff. So that was the Thunder Pig. And the Thunder Pig was a remote controlled tank he built that shot airsoft pellets and could be converted over to paintball.
Wow.
So he built that and was running it around the warehouse, like shooting kids and stuff.
That's cool.
What's that? Yeah, sure. Come here. Okay. Here's the kid.
Dude, hey, we saw you on the motorcycle. Tell your dad that it's too dangerous for you. Is it too dangerous?
No.
He's easily embarrassed.
No, okay. All right, cool. So now what part of the store, you still own an online store, a brick and mortar? What do you have?
So I have a brick and mortar store, which again, I think brick and mortar paintball stores are the soul of paintball. I am very biased, but no one's more excited than when you walk into a paintball store and you're a paintball player.
I know.
So we're actually building a new paintball store right now, which is driving me crazy, but we'll have probably the biggest store in Northern California for paintball. And then we have airsoft as well.
Congratulations on that. Well, is it going to be the same location?
It's about maybe 500 yards from our old location. And then we also do online. We don't do a lot of online just because we're going to compete with all the big dogs. Like, I'm not going to say their name, but Critical Paintball actually has a great website, and I love those guys.
They do, yeah.
But our website is gunfightersports.com.
Okay. What is 31st Outfitters?
So 31st Outfitters is our brick and mortar store, our paintball and airsoft. And then Gunfighter is our line of goods. So we do our own line of like joggers, paintball pants, t-shirts. Right? Yeah. So that's our brick and mortar paintball store.
Wait a minute. This is inside your store? Yeah. This is like, wait, you just didn't take A&S gear pictures, right? This is your stuff?
Yeah. So there's my trophy you're asking about up there.
Dude, you're rocking. Look at this store. Congratulations, brother.
Yeah. So the new shop will be a lot bigger, actually. It will be about 50% bigger. We'll have an area called Lab because we do like laser engraving. We do custom stickers. We do a lot of custom clothing. We do design work. We just started a YouTube channel doing reviews for guns and stuff like that. So do all the editing there. So I'm lucky to have really good dudes that work for me and some really talented guys, like one of them or two of them. The most of them are knuckleheads, but they're likable.
Okay. So I've been doing the show now for a month, and I think middle of it, I did an international cooking show, right? Mm-hmm. And so we had Holland, Germany, Canada, Michigan. We had everybody, right? And it went over well. It was one of my favorite shows. I fell in love with it. And as I was researching you, I came across this.
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, somebody stole my idea. What are you guys doing? So tell me about this.
So this is put together by my counterpart in Europe, Federico. So Federico runs MacDev Europe, and he does most of our promotions and stuff like that. And so he'd asked me if I would take part in a cooking contest. And even though I'm not a great cook, it's hard for me to turn down competition. I actually did work and know Guy Fieri. I was his head of training for all of his servers for his restaurants before he became famous.
Wow.
Funny story about his hair. He got that idea from me. Another story for another podcast.
Jesus Christ, man. You're like a fucking onion. I'm like layers and layers and layers. And All right.
So
We keep
yeah,
on.
I've worked in a restaurant for years, cooking, serving. So I can cook, but this is going to be more of a contest of likes. So once I drop my teaser, it's pretty much going to ice everyone else. And then I got some really fun ideas for what I'm going to cook.
All right. So basically it's not a live show. It's just everybody has to pop up their own video of them cooking something.
Honestly, I have no idea. He's like,
right.
make me a teaser. I'm like, okay, what are the rules? Like, are we head to head with somebody, or like, what do we? He's like, oh, I'm figuring it out. Like, all right, dude, whatever you want to do, I'm in.
All right.
I'm a yes man. Like, you want to do something fun? Like, I'm gonna say yes. I think you know that about me by now.
Last year, March. Well, actually, I'm always promoting 6 months out. But last year, March, there was this event in Mazatlan, and so they put me on the poster, ready to go. I'm looking forward to it. Bam, bam, bam. And then John Rathborn with GI Sports, he had been really, really pushing it hard. Bam, 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 it's gonna be great to do like this. And you know how paintballers are like, yeah, I'm gonna go. And then you show up at the airport and you're the only one, right? Like, okay, I got it. So this was the Mazatlan program, the Mazatlan event, and it was a brigade program. And so I'm looking forward to it. It was my second time back to Mexico. And so I have my push bag, and it's going through the carousel thing, and I grab my push bag, and then I see this guy who looks American, and he's picking up his push bag, and I don't know who you are. And I come up behind you and I go, those push bags are really good, right? And you turn around and you go, Reaper, like this. And I go, how do you know me? And so I'm like, that's pretty cool. This guy knows me. And so he said, my name's Ryan. And I go, are you here and he goes, yeah. Anybody else? And he goes, not that I know of. I go, dude, what are you doing here? I mean, like we're at this, it looks like one of those old time movie, the fan is spinning in the thing, and the customs agent, he's sweating, and I go, dude, what are you doing here? So what were you doing there? How did you find out about it?
John Rathbun actually had asked about it. He's like, oh, what do you think about going to Mexico and playing? Like, you can't threaten me with a good time. So I'm like, yeah, I'm in. What's going on? And he's like, oh, well, there's this big event and Reaper's going to go. Do you know Reaper? And I'm like, I've heard of him. And he's like, well, yeah, dude, you should go down. I'm like, were you going? And he's like, yeah, I'm going. And as you and I both know, he did not go.
He didn't go. That's okay.
And so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to this. And I guess we're going to be part of the scenario. And I've been to big scenario games. So what I was expecting versus what it was, totally different. In great ways, in just different ways.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I was so happy to see you that day because I don't speak hardly any Spanish.
How about poquito? Yeah. You're like burrito?
I was trying to get through customs. I was sweating bullets. You were handling it like a total professional.
Oh, dude. Customs, man. The only thing we didn't bring was Vaseline. No, I'm joking. What happened was because I'd been there before and I knew not to bring anything gun related, anything, not even my mags, right? Everything's going to be supplied there. You came with your marker, your tank, your hopper, everything like this. And all they saw was dollar signs. They're like, oh, gringo. So you're in front of me. You're checking out first. And I'm watching. And I'm like, oh, when am I going to have to step in? And so you're telling the guy in your best Spanish, his English, you're like, no, it's not a gun. No, it's this. And you're showing him all the parts and pieces. And he doesn't know he doesn't know what that is, right? And I'm saying, no, it's. I showed him I think I showed him a picture of what we're doing. I said, no, it's gotcha. He said, oh, gotcha. Gotcha is paintball in Spanish. So he goes, oh yeah, like this. And they're always looking for bribes. They're always looking for something, right?
Yeah.
And then I quickly put the attention on me, and you quickly huddled your stuff into your bag and went off there. And I had nothing to show him really. I'm like, see, gotcha. He goes, okay. So you're already gone. So basically I was a shiny object. So we got through the thing. Everything was cool. And then, like I said, we got picked up by the guys. They recognized me obviously. And you were like, who, what? No, I'm just talking to you.
I was just a little brother, tagging along.
You're and so they go, okay, we've got everything. Everything's under control. We're going to go out to dinner. And so we went out to dinner in this amazing view of the ocean, right? It was just fantastic. This was Mazatlan, but the Mazatlan that we were in was the Mexican Mazatlan. It wasn't the tourist Mazatlan. We were in like there wasn't any white guys around, but we were the only gringos.
Yeah.
And it was great. Yeah, it was great, but it was just, it could be very noisy though. I mean, it was kind of like, there was I think it was like a parade or something. There was something going on down the street. It was like
the lowrider parade, like right below that last picture. And there's a lowrider parade below.
Exactly.
The guys from Jackal Paintball brought us there because you wanted like seafood.
That's it. Well, I wanted something that wasn't like street food. I wanted like a real, food. So, yeah. So there's the guys. We're all hanging out. It's beautiful, that place. It's just amazing. It was a bit humid and like, about 70, 75, something like that, Mexico kind of thing. It was just gorgeous. And again, we ended up at the bar and there we go. I think that beer lasted me like a week. It's like I nursed that beer. I'm not like a big beer drinker, but yeah, again, you found the right adult beverage for you, and yeah, they appreciated it.
The Jackal guys took great care of us. They were awesome.
They took really good care of us. Now, because I'm a celebrity, I got like the best hotel. I got the murder motel, dude. This was after housekeeping had left. Right? I was like, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? This was such a, because you got to choose yours. I think like the last one on the block or something. You were able to choose yours, and they just gave me like, here, that there was no lock on my door. There was like the shower curtain went halfway. There was no hot water, and I gave up. I just listen. I'm going to draw a line where my kidney is, so they don't cut the wrong side. You know what I'm saying? When they want to like abduct me, you know what I'm saying? So, but so then, was this your first out of the country event? No, I mean, I'm sorry. No, you've been to Europe, but I'm saying south of the border.
That was my first. Yeah, that was the first time I've played south of the border. And later that year, we played in the MXL in San Luis Potosi. I guess for a team there with a couple guys that I knew. And so Arturo, I'm going to butcher his last name, Arturo Monde. He plays for Dynasty. He's the snake player on Dynasty. Super nice guy. Arturo, I'm so sorry if you ever see this. I butchered your last name. But when we went and played the MXL, he treated us so well. The hospitality was excellent. And the city of San Luis Potosi is not really, it's in the middle of Mexico.
Yeah.
And so it's not very touristy or anything like that, but we took like crazy tours to all these silver mines and these awesome waterfalls. And then we went to the event. The event only had one field, but it was on grass in the middle of a park. It was run really professionally. We had a blast. So I was able to go twice that year, both times, very different experiences, but both really fun.
When you went the second time, where did you fly into? Mexico City?
We flew from LA into San Luis Potosi.
Oh, into the San Luis Potosi. Okay, cool. Yeah, ours, Mazatlan, let me see. Mazatlan is a tourist area, but it can be also like, again, what we went through, like Casablanca, kind of 1940s. It was kind of crazy. So what happened was, I'm like you, man. They just say, they point me, they take off my leash and say, go be Reaper. And then I'm like, okay, I knew nothing about what we were getting ourselves into. And then it was like, I think a 2-hour drive from the ocean to get into this town that we got into. It was a town, village / something that actually got destroyed in a flood. And so what happened was they decided to not abandon, or some people left it and some people didn't. So there'd be like an abandoned house and then a regular house, and they had jerry-rigged wiring, and just like it was, so it wasn't meant to be a town anymore. And what they did was the paintball company would come in, not GI, but a paintball company would come in, and they would buy out the town for the weekend. So basically the people, the homeowners, they were just still eating their burritos when we were playing paintball. There was like, they didn't pay the people to leave. We played amongst them. So I'd never seen this before. We had spectators, right? We were playing paintball with people watching us. And they didn't have masks or anything. They were just like watching us play and cheering us on like it was a gladiator event.
And it was like an abandoned city. It was an abandoned city.
It was an abandoned city that people lived in.
It was amazing.
It was crazy. And then we had a little camp area that we went to, and people were like making us these Amazing, dude.
Enchiladas. Yeah.
Dude, I was in heaven, right? And then the little towns kids from the area, they showed up, right? And so they're like, who is this big gringo? And they're like, taking pictures of him. And then they gravitated towards you. You stole all my thunder. And they're like, who's this guy, right? Well, this guy can take a ball, throw it in the air, and shoot it. And the kids were like, God is here, like this. And it was like amazing. You were like doing these tricks, and these kids were just like, their heads were exploding. And then you did.
Yeah, it was good times.
You did the best thing possible. You see the bottle up there? You gave the gun to the kids.
Yeah.
He said, just go play, just go do it. I gave them my pistols, and we set up all the bottles, and this kid never played before. He's going bang, 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 like he's a fucking gangster or something. He's knocking and I go, whoa, these guys are like, there's something we don't know about these kids. But then I met this little leprechaun. I don't know who the guy. Who is this?
That's Steve. He is the Planet Eclipse tech that got tricked into going down to Mexico.
Yeah.
Steve runs, his family owns MVP Paintball, Mountain View Paintball in LA.
Okay.
And his brother and his dad still run Mountain View, but Steve lives out in Utah now and works for GI. But Steve Santucci, and he got tricked into going to Mexico and was there out in the cuts with us in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, right? It's dusty and dirty. It's like it's an old West movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's teching guns. He was I think we had I think we might have had a Titman tech, but he was teching guns. And he was just I never met him before. He was just a really cool cat. He again, paintball, it bonds you guys, right? So we went to this restaurant that was like, it almost was like an island with traffic going on both sides, right? Yeah. And it was like, and we're trying to eat, and I'm like, I would like some guacamole, and I would like some burritos, and I'd like some, and they just brought out whatever they wanted to. It's like, you could order whatever you want, but we're bringing this. That was crazy food. I didn't get sick. Did you get sick?
No, I didn't get sick at all.
No, I didn't. Yeah. And people are afraid of getting sick and getting kidnapped. That's what they're afraid about in Mexico.
If you were there, I mean, I don't really worry about getting kidnapped, but if I were with another group of people, I would worry a little bit. There were some rough areas. And two is like where we were playing. I don't think we even said it enough, dude. Like it was like the Wild West. The dudes, their velocities were like off the charts. There's no rules.
There's no FPS. Listen. There were first strike rounds going by me like this. Fuck you. That's all. That's all and they were like going past my head. And they had the what's it called area? The respawn area.
Yeah.
Called it the Fiesta area. They had like tequila and kegs of beer, and the guys were walking around with beer in their vests. They didn't have pod packs. They had beer.
Yep.
Masks. Optional, I guess. It was kind of if you wanted to wear a mask, or I came
wearing sunglasses. I was like, holy shit, you're wearing sunglasses. Like, I can't shoot you.
Dude, we were like scared at first, but then but it went in Rome, right? I came over the hill, I had my two pistols ready to pounce on these two guys. They're drinking beer, their masks are up, and they said, "Hola, Reaper." I'm like, we're playing a game, I'm about to shoot you, and like, fuck, like this. So you know what? I fell in love with it. It was a GI event, so obviously we had a lot of but I think that's Valken paint there too, right?
Yeah, they had some. They had a lot of the GI. That was Jackal Paintball had put it on, and they run most of Mexico, from what I understand. Yep. But they were putting on the event, and they had rented the town. They brought in all the paint, like they kind of organized it all. But
the restaurant, I think this restaurant got an A rating.
Obviously.
It's like, dude, there was dust on everything. On that drink I had, I thought it was seasoning, but no, it was dust. It was like, And then so I'm playing, I'm walking through the town, and I see this cow, and I'm hearing this clunk, 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 and I go and check it out. I don't know if you can see in there, but there's a lady in there, and she actually is making her own tortillas. It's a tortilla factory. And the cow is hanging out eating the tortillas. while the paintballs are flying. The
Right.
paintballs are flying all over the place and all this shit's going on. So I walked over and got a tortilla from her and I'm eating and I'm shooting my pistol at people. Dude. And then this happens. Then tragedy strikes.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the mark of no FPS, right? And that is like a whack. And so we were actually promoting my CBD sponsor, and you're rubbing it on there. But dude, look where that thing hit you, man.
That was from like seriously like 100 feet away too.
Dude.
After I'd already been hit, I'm like, all right, I'm out. You guys got me. I shot like all my paint, all my air. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. You got me. And it's like, whack. I was like, oh.
That is the worst. All right. I don't know if you saw this, but it was the last day. It was like the final battle, whatever else. And we're all gathered in this like dusty, dirty street. And then all of a sudden I hear, Andre, bueno, like this. And we're looking around and we look down the street and there's a herd of bulls with the horns, right? And they're running right at us. It's like running like pump it like this. And if you didn't turn, you would have been gouged or gored or whatever they call it. And so this is the last picture I got of it though. This was it. This was after we got out of the way. And it was basically the farmer, he was just moving his cows. He was going about his business. Everybody was going about their business and they didn't care who was in the way. Just like, so it was a very dangerous situation. But on the other hand, when you just let go and go, whatever happens, happens, right? So whatever happens. And we just, you made friends, right?
Oh yeah. It's great guys, dude.
You made friends, you hung out. We had a great time. You brought your shirt with you.
It goes everywhere with me.
That's your shirt. Anyway. All right. So, that was it. That's pretty much your life, huh?
Yeah, man. Paintball's been my life.
You're everybody's hero. You're living the dream, even though the dream that you're living, you're working for. You know what I'm saying? This is not a ride, dude. You're killing it. You've got like your business is going on. We're not even getting to the rest or your rest record or your fighting or let's just keep this a family show. You've basically got an amazing background. And that's why, I mean, when I met you, we became friends. It was like, it wasn't like, like, yeah, you're that stupid celebrity. I've heard about you kind of thing. That I'm stuck. Look, I'm stuck. No, you were like, hey, we're here in this situation, and we bonded and we're like, this is kind of cool. And the thing that made us bond is this craziness that we were thrown into.
Right.
But you know what? I love it. I love Mexico. I'm going to go back, I think, twice this year. And I invite everybody. You know what? It's a different world. You cross the border, it's a different world, and just accept it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's the Wild West still, dude. Mexico is so fun to play. And like the biggest thing too, I think, like you said, is just like let go and just be like, it's still paintball, right? But it's not what we've done here. And they're doing it in their own way. And it's super fun if you can just like let go and enjoy it. And like I said, that city we played in, probably top 5 places I've ever played. Just
are you serious? Yeah. It's been we both have traveled around the world playing, and I played in Germany in like it was like a Nazi Air Force base kind of thing, and they still had like the bunkers and shit like that. And I played in France, a Deckering, where you're like 3 stories under. You played there, right?
Yeah.
3 stories down. But there was something special about this place. It was just like there when you're in Europe, you kind of feel like the umbrella of Europe, of like maybe there's some kind of like safety mechanism. This was like, I don't think there was a waiver. It was just like, they just put you in, go, it's over there, go play.
Well, the thing is, like, a lot of us started this, you didn't start as a little kid. So some of us started as like little kids. Like the first time I played, I didn't have a paintball gun. I used a slingshot. And I shot my best friend in the neck from like 100 feet away while he was running full speed. And after that, I was like, I'm done. I'm hooked. And that was after I'd been back from Germany playing for my first time. I couldn't even afford a gun. So I was playing with a fucking wrist rocket against guys with guns. And we were playing in parks. We were playing at the high school. We were playing in places that you're not supposed to be. And then we hear like the cops are coming. So we'd all hide. And the cops would come around flashlights. And then we'd wait till they leave, but let's get out of here. And we bail. But that's what it felt like, is that excitement with all your buddies. And it's definitely dangerous. And it's a place maybe you shouldn't be.
Right.
But everybody's there. We're all doing it together. And luckily, no one's going to tell anybody because we're allowed to be there. And that's that kind of mentality of old school, just raw, fun all that you don't really get anymore. It's just regulated.
Right. Overly regulated.
Yeah. And so that was the thing, is that's what we were doing. And there's dudes playing like full auto, 400 feet per second with sunglasses on. And we're like, there's guys standing on top of buildings. And I'm like, get down, you're going to die. Like, oh my, there's a guy that was on top of like a 20-foot wall that was a building. Everything fell except for the wall. He pushes me out of the way, walks out on the wall, and is shooting down on like 13 other dudes. And he must weigh 300 pounds. And I'm like, you're going to fucking die. And I'm like, I have to leave because I don't want to watch you die. And I would like turn and look back. It was a train wreck. But it was awesome.
Dude, it was just craziness. It was crazy to be able to play and have people eating on their porch, and you're just shooting by them. They're just eating on their porch, watching you shoot, and they're not wearing masks. They're just like, I guess, we were not our town. So I guess you're right. It gave me that feeling of, I've been over-regulated since 2008, the chin strap, the whole thing. It gave me that feeling of not playing paintball the first time like you, but that, like, again, that hide and seek kind of like, this is dangerous, but it's fun. And it's kind of, dude, I'm older. I think I'm 10 years older than you, right? Our parents used to kick us out at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and say, don't come back until whatever. And you could have been kidnapped, molested. It didn't matter, right? But you felt free. You felt like a, like a human.
Yeah. You're running the streets.
Yeah. So that's what this was like for us. It was just kind of like, again, I was in a hotel where usually I'm in a hotel and there's like 3 locks on the door, right? This is like no lock, and people are walking by the window looking at me like I'm some, like, in the zoo or something. I'm like, I give up. Just take your turn, one at a time, please. And then, like, it's like whatever the situation is. So so I'm going back. I love Mexico. All right, my brother, listen. I usually say to my guests at this point that I leave anything out, but if I say that to you, yes, we've got like 18 more podcasts for you if we want to like go off on the different tangents. But anything else I kind of left out, maybe that you want to let people know about as far as the sport, anything?
Oh man, like you said, there's so many different things to talk about with everything we do, but just support your local stores. I really encourage that. Sometimes people get down on stores because they don't have the greatest selection or anything. If they don't, ask them to order it. If they don't want to order it, hey man, just do your best, and then go to your local fields, be friendly, be happy with people. Remember, we're all doing this together. If you do want to order something online, go to gunfightersports.com. Custom pants over there. But definitely support your local paintball, and just be friendly, be happy, do your best, and hopefully see you guys out there.
I like it. Okay. Again, if they want to find you, where do we find you online?
So I'm obviously on Facebook, Ryan Podesta, and then I'm on Instagram at Podesta707, and then Gunfighter Sports. And that's pretty much all I can keep up with, dude. I got too much other stuff to be.
Where's your location? Where's your field?
Our field is in Northern California. Our website is playland707.com. And that has Instagram too, at playland707. Got
it. I like it. Okay, my brother, listen, hang out. I'm going to play my video. You're going to hang out in the green room, enjoy the snacks. Don't hang up. I'll see you in a second. Okay.
All right, sounds good, buddy.